Oh, wait, I am live. It's going, when's it going to go live? I'm live. Just mixing my drink a little. Put a little bit more lemonade in here. Because why not indeed? Okay, that's full now. I should not put any more in. Hello to any and all who watch this broadcast. To those who watch back later, hello. This is a little special hello bit for you before people file into the chat. I can just have a little talk temporarily displaced with people who watch this back later. I hope you enjoy it. And for those of you who are in the same time dimension as myself, hello, Luke, Invisible Chicken, Stella, Catherine. Oh, Catherine's watching from the bus on the way home. Okay, Stella, your dogs are going to watch while you pop out to the supermarket. I will try and keep the dogs entertained. And the humans, any humans who happen to stick around. If your pets are the ones watching, like I said, I will also try and be appealing to pets, but no promises. Well, I guess there's no promises that I'll be appealing to humans either. Basically, I've got to try and amuse myself, and I can be a pretty harsh judge sometimes, so that might not even happen. Wow, the wheels could just fall off here. Yes, cocktail tips for the doggos. That's the thing we're going to do. Luke, you think people think you're strange if you watch on the bus? Oh, man, the world is strange. There's always going to be someone who thinks you're strange no matter what you do, which is an interesting observation. Yeah. Hey, Locust Trooper. Just a normal Wednesday evening hump day. Made it through the week. You might be able to tell from my attire. I am going to be shooting a video tonight. This is my cocktail video outfit. I'm going to make a couple pineapple videos because it's Pineapple Day on Friday. I think going to have a video ready for Friday. Pineapple Day. Pineapple Day. June 27th, so that's actually Saturday. That's cool. Pineapple drinks for the weekend, and I'm going to make a video with a couple of pineapple recipe ideas because I'm good. I'm good to you. That's what it comes down to. Mining the Diffords site yet again. Yes, Catherine, I don't actually have a pineapple tie. I did look a bit. Don't even have a particular Hawaiian shirt, so I just gonna stay with the usual motif. Luke, just going to the city is about all you did. I think I saw you posting on the socials. Was it really quiet? Was that what you were saying? Look, Shub, I've heard Brimbank's on lockdown. Have to wear a mask to go to the supermarket. I did not hear that. Let's have a look. I was going on public transport. Anywhere I'd wear a mask. Melbourne back in coronavirus lockdown. Not from all of those shitty sites. Okay, here's a recent update from The Guardian. 20 new cases reported today. Ooh, wow, the world just hit 9 million cases. That's a fun milestone, isn't it? 9 million cases. And again, that's just obviously a tiny fraction of the world's population for something that is regarded as so contagious without a vaccine. In a year or so, you'd expect 75% of the world's population to have contracted the virus. Now, that number 9 million is probably low by at least a factor of 10. I don't really have science to back this up, but the fact is, I think only about 1 in 10 cases are being found. So it's probably more like 90 million cases. And the deaths as well. The deaths is probably quite significantly underreported based on, because you can do this statistical thing where you go, okay, based on historical statistics, how many people would we have expected to die this year? And how many have? And there's this unexplained big jump in deaths that you wouldn't expect, which suggests that the actual count of people killed by COVID is understated by about 20%. So, yeah. Oh, look, I imagine if I saw someone watching me on a bus, I'd laugh, yes. Catherine, you're on a bus and you don't have a mask. Not necessarily worried. I have to admit, I'm worried about trains more than buses. But I would actually, I wouldn't worry about being on the bus, but in all honesty, I'd recommend a mask. Yeah, you actually got no cases in South Australia, so actually there's that as well. I was talking about Melbourne, really. Oh, nice. You almost finished your place at Warragul, going to move in a couple of weeks. That is excellent news, Locust Trooper. Hope you have many happy years there. So it is excellent milestone to have your house finished. Yeah, get out of Deer Park, man. Get the fuck out of Deer Park. Yeah, I hope you have many, many happy years in your new home. That is a really excellent milestone for you. But yes, okay, so what are they saying about this thing? I got distracted by the numbers. Take a look at the main developments. Australia recorded its first coronavirus death in a month after an 80-year-old man died in Victoria. 20 new cases reported today, has requested the Australian Defence Force support to cope with a huge spike in demand for testing. Yes, the demand for testing's like quadrupled or something. Coles and Woolworths have reintroduced item limits to prevent panic buying because people are fucking idiots. Okay. Published coronavirus stuff in Pacific Islander languages. Probably overdue. Okay, I don't think there is any official lockdown and mask directive. Individual shops might say they want you to wear a mask to go in there. That's true. We've been through Deer Park, never seen any deer. Mate, you can be in sunshine and not see much sunshine either. What were they claiming? Claim to fame. Sunshine is where the stump jump plough was invented. Fine Australian invention. So what were the pineapple cocktails I was going to make? El Presidente, it wasn't that. It wasn't a French daiquiri. It was Goombay Smash, that's right. Navy rum, triple sec, coconut rum, pineapple juice, and lime. So we're going to make a Goombay Smash. A Mary Pickford. Ooh, pomegranate syrup. That reminds me I have to make some more pomegranate syrup because I used up the last of my homemade grenadine. A painkiller. I always get that pendulum track in my head when I see the name Painkiller. Although there have been lots of songs over the years with the title Painkiller, but the one that I always remember is the good old drum and bass from Pendulum. Is that navy rum, pineapple juice, orange juice, and cream of... I don't have cream of coconut. I was going to... Apparently, it's quite easy to make your own cream of coconut. I was going to do that, but I haven't done it yet. Maybe I'll do it for actual... Oh, no, Saturday night's date night. So I won't be doing a live stream on Saturday night. Okay. Pineapple meat caipirinha, pineapple daiquiri, pineapple martini, pine cone, pisco punch, pyramid punch, Rhine wine cola, the salty bird. That just sounds so dodgy. Rum Campari, pineapple juice, lime juice, and sugar syrup. Sherry cobbler. That's it, the Susie that we were going to call the Shazza. Ossify it and call it the Shazza. Yeah, Locust Trooper, there's seemed to be some retribution between the youths around Brimbank Deer Park with the stabbinges. So there's trouble when people get feisty and territorial and do bad things and then want payback for bad things. It's all a bit friggin' dodgy. Luke, why can't they electrify the line to melt and run metro on it? I don't know. I don't know anything about the train system. Yeah, when there's fatal stabbings, I actually love that our lives in Australia are so quiet that a fatal stabbing is a really significant event. I'd be happier if they didn't happen at all, but I'm happy that they happen so rarely that it's a pretty significant event when it does happen. I mean, I always come back to just looking at the level of violence in big American cities where, they can have a dozen murders in a weekend. It's not good. Let's see, one murder is not good. But yes, I do remain grateful that our lives are so quiet that a single stabbing murder is a big... Though I actually think there was two, wasn't there? There was one, and then there was one, I think it was payback for it. But foolish people fucking things up and ruining their own lives doing shit like this. There's no future in it, kids. There's no future in it. Fancy themselves gangsters or some stupid shit like that. So, man, we're going to make these two cocktails tonight and drink them. I get a bit smashed. Everybody wants to do a gangster. Oh, yeah, Locust Trooper fights would definitely happen. The deaths are very rare, but the fights would definitely... Man, I had one when I lived in Footscray. Used to get neighborhood watch leaflet, I think it was once a week, maybe it was once a fortnight, once a month, but it'd get put in a letterbox and just go, they're helping keep tabs on the crimes reported in Footscray. And Footscray was way dodgier 20 years ago when I was living there, actually longer than 20 years ago. I'm old. It was about 98. About 98 when I lived in Footscray. And yeah, we'd get the neighborhood watch things, and all the crimes in it was all, breaking into vehicle theft, assault, aggravated assault, breaking into vehicle theft. It was these property crimes, nothing too outlandish most of the time. And then one day the neighborhood watch things come in and it's like, burglary, breaking into, car theft, burglary, assault, homicide. And I was like, fucking what? Because it was only covering, it wasn't even all the Footscray, it was just like my neighborhood. And so someone got dead, and so I looked, and it's not there anymore, actually. There used to be a service station up on the corner of where I lived. and they had pretty heavy security at night. Like it was locked, and you had to, if you were like paying for petrol, you had to talk. This guy's behind like plexiglass, and there was just a little like bank teller thing. You had to pass your card or the money in for the petrol, and if you wanted something from the fridge, you had to tell him what you wanted, and he'd get it for you. But yeah, someone got killed at this service station, and I thought, was this a fight over petrol or something? But the location, as it turns out, was nothing to do with the murder. It was a domestic. There was some sort of family thing, big extended family thing, and there was a fight that got really violent, and then some people scarpered, and then one guy who'd left because of the fight, because he was in the fight, had stopped at this petrol station for petrol. But what he didn't know is someone had followed him who was very angry at him. And while he was pumping petrol, they pulled up behind him and jumped out of the car and stabbed him to death. And that was like literally like 6 doors down from where I lived. And I had no idea. It must have happened really late at night. And of course, it would have been cops and everything. But I slept through it. I had no idea it had happened. Luke, you think High Point Shopping Centre gets bad? We used to call it Knife Point. It used to be worse. I didn't think it was bad anymore. I don't know. But yes, back in the day, we used to call High Point Knife Point. That's the thing. Yes. Locust Trooper Carl Williams and all that crowd were still killing each other back when I first moved to Footscray. They weren't all in prison or dead back then. Again, like we love calling it the Melbourne Gang War because a dozen people got killed over a 5-year period. An actual like gang war in America, a dozen people would get killed on the weekend. We were all very dramatic because there were, every 6 months or so, someone would get murdered, and it'd be this ongoing thing, and it was all very exciting to us. But it was so fucking low key compared to what happens in other parts of the world. Again, which I'm really glad about. I'm really glad our lives are so quiet that. Our major gang war just sort of bubbled along for 5 or 10 years. So, yes, the way it is, I guess. So, yeah, Locust Trooper, I do think a properly funded welfare state actually does reduce crime. Not so much what the right wingers think, but I do think proper support networks reduce crime. Wait. The salty bird. What the fuck? What happens? Wait, was this happening the other day? This cocktail stopped appearing. God damn. Oh, make my life a misery, why don't you? That's annoying as well. Oh, that's the other one we're going to do. There's a cocktail called a USB. Change it for Aussie components and call it the dongle. That's just brandy, white wine, pineapple juice, and sugar syrup. Riff on the Palermo cocktail. Not named after a universal cereal bus, but after the grape varieties Ugni and Sauvignon Blanc. There you go. The dongle. Yeah, Luggage Trooper. Knife Point, aka High Point, used to be pretty dodgy. Like, it's gone more and more upmarket over the last 20 years. Like, when I first moved to Melbourne, I think High Point was only about a quarter the size it is now. Like, I'm not exaggerating. It's just they keep doing extensions and they get bigger and bigger. Like, in the last 20 years, there's been 4 major extensions to High Point. Like, how it is now looks nothing like how it was when I first moved to Melbourne. It's so different, so much bigger. Hey, Lee, good evening to you. So, yes, things are change, as the saying goes. Super annoyed at this cocktail disappearing for no real reason. Susie cocktail. Okay, I found it. Fine. Good. Okay, so Pisco, Oka Gold, pineapple, and vermouth. Spoon twist. Iron twist. Shall we get to rename it from the Susie to the Shazza? The Mick Gatto on Lygon Street. He used to hang out on Lygon Street a lot. Yes. Locust Tripper, what was the shit happening there? Oh, dude, it's just like, bored, thuggish teenagers. The car parks could be a bit dodgy. And yes, some people with grudges against each other would run into each other occasionally in High Point, and altercations would ensue. Rough stuff. Some of the rough stuff. All right, I think I should get on to making these cocktails. Got to decide, Gumbai Smash, do I do it in a tall glass or in my tiki goblet? Might look a bit more elegant in a tall glass, but I don't know, I like my tiki goblet. It's pretty cool. Yes, I'm going to do it in my goblin. It is best with the full flavour and punch of a true British Navy rum. Well, I have not a British Navy rum, but I do have a pretty goddamn serious... fucking hell. I felt that going as I knocked it. Oh, damn it. Sorry, I'm going to have to clean this up. Ugh. All right. Fucking clown shoes McGee. Ugh. Just spilt so much drink. Ugh. This is annoying. Ugh. Give me the shits when I do things like this. And all these cords are dangling in the fucking liquid. Fucking shit. Ugh, this is going to take a while to clean up. God damn it. Yeah. Makes me worried about making cocktails. If I'm knocking shit over before I even start making cocktails, what's going to happen once I have some cocktails? Ugh. God damn it. Right. Ugh. Ugh. Getting clumsy in my old age. Ugh, little senior moment. Knocking a drink over. It's like, yeah. Do you have a drinking problem? Well, I knocked my drink over. That was a problem. It was a big problem. Not very happy about that at all. Ugh. There's a joke in Flying High where he's going, I've got a drinking problem. And his drinking problem was he couldn't find his mouth. He's always just like throwing the drink into his eye sockets. God damn. Okay, well, that was super fucking annoying. That was absolutely super fucking annoying. Like, true, yes, I do have to swear at everything I do. Catherine, you worry you trip over on flat surfaces, but that's cerebral palsy. Yep, for me it was just a bit of clumsiness. Oh, there's my drink gone. That's annoying as shit. Okay. Now, everything fucking stay cool. And I'll go back to what I was going to do and get ready to make this video. So I need... Okay, so it's rum, curacao, pineapple juice, or squeezed lime juice. Okay, so I need to get from the Frigidaire. I need to get my lime juice that I've been squeezing. I need to get this because I'm going to be using this. Right, so I need Pisco. There's my overproof rum. I hit those eggs. I need a curacao and Okar Gold. Okay, is that everything? Rum, triple sec, coconut, pineapple, lime. This one's Pisco, gentian, pineapple, lime. Okay. Luke, go back to work on Monday. Oh, that's good. Invisible Chicken, you spilled a bottle of water over your laptop recently. More water resistant than they used to be. Oof. Safa, you know what? Okay, a space cocktail. That would be cool. Because I don't know if you've seen the thing that astronauts often do, like they're showing off. You can make little globules of liquid go through the air. Like they have the little squeeze bottles they drink out of. But if you can sort of fire a glob of water over to someone on the other time. What I'd see a space cocktail as being, so like you say, you have your 3 ingredients in squeeze bottles. You got 3 different people holding squeezy. Someone's there with their mouth open, and you've basically got to time it so you all go and squirt. So the 3 globs of liquid go through the air, and the person at the other end catches them in their mouth at the same time. Instant cocktail. That would be a space cocktail. That would be excellent. Someone needs to do that. NASA, call me. It's a fucking great publicity idea. Space cocktails. Okay, so cocktails. The Goombay smash. Shaken. The Suze is shaken. So I need my shaker. I'm going to make the Suze first because it will make the least impression on my shaker, even if I rinse it after the rum. Okay. And this. I want this. Not that worried about that one being cold because I'm going to put a big thing of ice in it. I think I'll do the Suze in a coupe. So you. Well, that worked well. Okay. Get shit together, rubbish. Okay. That's there. Jig is there. That's there. Want some ice in my jigger. So I don't have to worry about it either. In fact, one big thing of ice as well. Really pulverize that drink when I shake it. Right. You can come back here now. Just gotta get another paper towel. Okay. Do this. Right. I'll just get this happening. I'll close my curtain so I don't get reflections. Right. That's okay. Such as it is. Right. I think I want to adjust the camera a bit this way. Right. Just the way I do this, so oh god, that was gonna be a fuck up there too. Okay. Do that so you can see me while I'm making it. Alright. More than slightly unflattering angle, but that's okay. And do this. Say hello. Right, ready to go. Oh, cool. I need new batteries. Okay, I got batteries over here. Somewhere over the rainbow. Here they are. Big fuck off packet of batteries I got from Costco. All right. How's that then? Wait, has this died? It's not switching on. Oh, don't tell me my Zoom's just spontaneously died after 12 years. No, it's not working. Oh. Gonna have to have a bloody funeral. It's just dead, man. It's dead. Oh, wait. I did something stupid. Lucky I just didn't throw it against the wall in frustration. There's, I put one of the batteries in backwards, basically. Hey, Miguelich, how's it going? Locust Trooper, make it a cocktail named after the western suburbs, call it Scum West. I think that's just like goon, isn't it? Okay. Now I've got my fucking recorder working. I really thought my horse Zoom had died. Oh, God damn it. Ugh. We good? All right. G'day. Oh, wow, straight out of the gate. Okay, maybe there's no more mistakes after that. G'day, cocktail lovers. I hope you are keeping well. Got some pineapple-themed cocktails for you in this video. Putting this up for Pineapple Day. It's the 27th of June. It's apparently been proclaimed to be Pineapple Day. And why not? Pineapples are wonderful. They used to be symbols of great wealth when seafarers from Europe first discovered them in the tropics and brought them back to Europe. It was so difficult to get one. It was a sign of extreme wealth to have one. And so there were often sculptures of pineapples to indicate wealth. King of England getting a portrait done with a pineapple being presented to him because he was just that important and rich. Now, of course, we can get pineapples and pineapple juice fairly easily in many places around the world. Here in Australia, tropical north, we grow our own, and there's bound to be some imported ones as well. But we have lots of local produce. And of course, there's a whole genre of cocktails that feature pineapple quite prominently, noticeably in the tiki range of cocktails or the tropical cocktails. Pineapple features quite prominently, and there's going to be a bit of a tropical feel to these cocktails I'm making, although I chose two that are actually quite different. One very punchy rum-wise, one a bit more subtle and sweeter. So depending where your tastes lie, which one is going to be your favorite. But the first one I'm going to make, I found a recipe for a cocktail called the Susie, and it was interesting enough. And I can actually substitute some of the ingredients for Australian ingredients to make it a bit more local and a bit more individual. And I was discussing this on a live stream with some viewers about, well, if we're going to Aussify it, what are we going to call it instead of Susie? And we came up with the Shazza, about 3 people at once. Typed Shazza, call it Shazza, as the Australian abbreviation for Sharon. For those who don't know, a rather archetypal suburban white girl name, Shazza. So without further ado, I am going to share with you the Shazza cocktail. First up, a very non-Australian ingredient. The spirit in this one is pisco. Pisco is basically Peruvian brandy. I believe there is possibly some argument in different parts of South America where pisco was first made and who can lay claim to it. But most of what we see here is Peruvian. And I'm going to put in 1.5 shots, 1.5 ounces, 45 mils of pisco. The recipe I found called for half a shot of... Fuck off, fridge. Forgot to turn you off. Someone remind me to turn the fridge back on. The recipe I found called for half an ounce. Is it half an ounce? Yeah, fucking hell, my brain. The recipe I found called for half an ounce of gentian liqueur, something that I don't specifically have, but I have a very good substitute, an Australian liqueur called Ochre Gold, a very similar profile to gentian. It's made with Australian botanicals. Call it an Outback liqueur. So I am going to add half a shot of Ochre Gold. The other substitution I'm going to make, the original recipe I found called for Sauvignon Blanc, white wine. And I don't like white wine. I don't have any white wine in the house. Actually, I have some for cooking, but that's like super cheap and nasty. But I do have some very nice vermouths, which are aromatized wine or fortified wines. This is another Australian product called Regal Rogue. This is their lively white. And I think this makes a good substitute for the Sauvignon Blanc. So I am going to add, let me see, it says half a shot. So another half a shot of the Regal Rogue Lively White. Ooh, gotta get some pineapple juice. That's all the alcohol content for this cocktail. Now we're up to pineapple. Being Pineapple Day, central feature, doing 1 1/4 shots, just over, let's see, that's about 35 to 37 mils of pineapple juice. I'm eyeballing it a bit. I'm not being that precise. So 1 1/4 ounces of pineapple juice going in. And the drink also calls for a 1/3 shot of sugar syrup. I'm using a special sugar syrup I made. It's actually what's known as an oleosaccharum. It's made by sprinkling sugar on the peel of fruit. In this case, it was lemons and limes. And the sugar draws the oil out of the rind, turns it into a syrup, add some hot water, stir it up to dissolve the sugar completely. And you've got a really nice, tangy, citrusy sugar syrup. Something a little bit different, but plain old sugar syrup would be fine, or whatever sweetener you're using. Just a bit, again, about 1/3 of an ounce. So again, just eyeballing just a little bit of sugar syrup going in there. We give all of that a good old shake for 10 or 15 seconds. shaker's nice and cold. So now I'm going to use Hawthorne strainer and strain it into a coupe glass that I've had chilling. Rather lovely looking drink, and behold the Shazza. I'll give it a taste. That is particularly good. Like I said, the Pisco is a Peruvian brandy essentially, but it very much has its own taste. Got some herbal notes from the Ocar Gold, and the fruit flavors coming in as well. This is a very nice drink. All right. Now, a bit of a change of pace. This drink is called the Goombay Smash. Apparently comes from Miss Emily's Blue Box Bar in the Bahamas. The Bahamas Blue Box Bar. That's a lot of fun to say. And I'm telling you now, it would get more difficult to say after one of these, let alone two. Because the first thing we're going to do is some overproof rum. The recipe I saw recommended, they call it Navy Strength, which they say is about 54, 55% alcohol. The overproof rum I have from the good folk at Plantation, they have their artisanal rum, which is 69% alcohol. So it's a pretty serious punch. 2 shots of that is not messing about. I could, of course, tone it down, maybe blend it with another punch, but let's have a bit of fun. 2 shots of this going in. We also want half an ounce, 15 mils of an orange liqueur, whether you happen to have triple sec, curacao, or Cointreau, 15 mils in that. And I'm using an Australian mate from the people at Marionette, their orange curacao. This is quite a bit drier than the old favorite Cointreau. Very nice, very natural orange flavor in this one. But if you have a sweet tooth, if you're using a drier curacao, you might want to put a bit of extra sweetness in. But I'm just going to go with the 15 mils of the Marionette curacao. Where did I put that? I didn't get it out. We're adding a bit more tropical flavor with 3/4 of an ounce of a rum coconut liqueur, coconut rum liqueur. Now, as I was saying before, went pretty hard on the overproof rum. I could have had less of the overproof rum and more of this, but I decided it's pineapple day. Let's go all the way. So 3/4 of an ounce of our coconut rum. Besides a lot of rum, this drink also features a lot of pineapple, hence showcasing it on Pineapple Day, a full 3 ounces of pineapple juice going in there. And finally, just 1/4 of an ounce of lime juice to give it a little bit of tartness and just one more flavor in this very flavorful drink. 1/4 of an ounce, I'm not going to bother measure. This is some lime juice I squeezed earlier. Just a little bit of lime juice going in there. Actually, use one of these ice cubes for shaking. Now we're going to shake this with ice to make sure everything's mixed in, and we'll get a nice bit of foam from the pineapple juice being shaken up as well. There is a lot of volume in this drink, so you might want to share it with a friend, have a pineapple party, or failing that, use a tall glass or something that holds a bit. I'm going with this tiki cut glass goblet I have with a big old chunk of ice in there, nice big square. Pour this rather voluminous drink in there. And there we have a Goombye Smash in all its pineapple glory. Let's have a little taste. Ooh. Surprisingly enough, that's got a real rum kick in there. But especially with the volume of pineapple juice we put in and the other elements, it's actually smoothed out quite a bit. We've got a few different fruit flavors going on there with the curacao, the pineapple, and the lime juice. And there's coconut in there as well. So it really is. It's pretty much an archetypal tropical drink, this one. So if you're looking for something to knock your socks off, I did get asked in one of my live stream recently about how many cocktails can you drink before going over the legal limit to drive, which is 0.05 in Australia. And I said, look, how long's a piece of string? The short answer is 2. Most cocktails, if you have 2 inside half an hour or even an hour, you're probably not safe to drink. I revised that. If you're having a Goombye Smash, do not drive. This is a one and done drink, this one. 1, you'll enjoy it. Tell everyone what a great drink it is. 2, you're probably not going to remember the rest of the rest of the night. Hopefully you remember the rest of your life. Just the night might be a blackout. But if you want to try something that's a bit different, got a bit of punch in it, the Goombye Smash might be for you. Whatever happens to be your pineapple, I hope you enjoy it. I hope that you're taking care of yourself, enjoying the odd beverage. I hope these ideas help you, give you something new to try. I try to find different and interesting drinks for you to try. Hey, if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends about it. Leave me a comment on what your favorite pineapple drink is or what you'd rather drink than pineapple. But it's Pineapple Day, so we're doing pineapple. I tried to be a bit different and not just make archetypal tiki drinks, hence the pisco-based Shazza, knockoff of the Susie cocktail. But yeah, tell me what your favorite is. Tell me if there's something in particular you would like to see in the future. And stay safe in the meantime. And I'll leave you with Goodbye Smash. This is going to take me a while to get through. Cheers. All right. This is a big drink. I've got an hour to drink it in. That's okay. Gotta switch everything off. Oh. Okay. Oh, what's been going on in the chat while I was doing that? Whew. Right, move. Trying not to have any more disasters. It's really bad that I... Oh, go on. Okay, come back. Forgot I had that pointing up there. Really bad that I spilt my... thank you, Invisible Chicken and Luke. You are both legends. What will I use? Because that's all wet now. I don't want to touch a power switch with a wet thing. A wooden spoon. That's what I will use. Okay, there you go, fridge. Come back to life. See, that's why I trust you people. You're very together. Oh. Okay. Feeler and Sealer, what's the reference to background track or music? I do actually use music in the cocktail videos. I have a whole bunch of tracks a friend did for me to use on YouTube, like just GarageBand stuff that he did for me years ago. Hey, remember me talking about people who are in my videos who was dead? The guy who made the music is dead. But he's honored by me continuing to use his music. So, yes. So, David, T-Bird with Hawaiian plates. Okay. So, Grand Marnier, vodka, amaretto, pineapple juice, and orange juice. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Once you get into 4-ounce pineapple juice and 4-ounce orange juice, that's just a bloody fruit juice at that point. There may well be alcohol in there, but all you're going to taste is the fruit juice. I have to admit, if I was going to make that, this is why I often don't make tiki drinks, because they're cheating with all the fruit juice they put in them. Whoa, Jesus. Hello. Oh, but still, that one, it's got layers of flavor. And the fruit juice has taken the edge off the overproof rum, which is no small feat. But because all the different flavors are in there, the rum, the coconut, the orange, the pineapple, and the lime, it actually still is a multi-layered drink. So that one, David, although it does sound good, Grand Marnier, vodka, amaretto, just so much pineapple juice and so much orange juice. I would probably cut that right back, particularly the orange juice. I am not a huge fan of orange juice in a cocktail. Because I particularly with 4 ounces, I feel like that's all you'd taste. Like I might dial that back to 2 ounces of pineapple juice and 1 ounce of orange juice. Why do they call it a smash? Well, since you asked, as it says, smashes are usually short drinks that include muddled milk. But this potent tiki-style drink features rum, coconut, and fruit. They're just called that. Yes, smashes usually have mint in them. Kind of like a sour is normally lemon or lime juice. It's normally a spirit, a lemon and lime juice, a sweetener, and if you're feeling fancy, egg white. Smash normally has mint in it or some other herb leaf. I don't want to drink this tonight. You know what this is making me think? My standard thing. There's a lot of this. I might milk clarify it because I definitely don't want to drink this tonight. I don't think I'd feel well. I don't know. My tummy's just a bit weird tonight. Ooh, Annette, drink a scotch tonight. I mean, if that's to your taste, by all means. I don't often drink scotch on its own, but two of my favorite cocktails are a whiskey sour and an old fashioned. They're both not made with scotch that often, but you can make them with scotch. There are a lot of classic scotch cocktails, actually. I'm going to do my obsessive thing and milk clarify this drink. How many ounces did I put in it again? I'm going to get the right amount of milk. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so maybe 2 ounces of milk. Okay. That's about right. Ugh. Ooh. Okay, so I'm going to get 2 ounces of moo cow milk. Oh, maybe I should. Vitasoy almond milk. Yeah. Toying with doing it with almond milk because I made that other one with almond milk and it worked quite well. But I think I'll just do dairy. Okay, 2 ounces of dairy milk. I forgot to turn this off. Did stop it recording, so that's something. Goodbye, see you. Right, and this, and this. Right. Okay. So, I'm going to add this drink to the milk and watch it curdle. Kind of looks like caramel milk now. I'm always fascinated by what color it goes. Yeah, it curdles straight away, which is what we want. Leave it sit for a little bit. I'm always fascinated by what color it first goes when I tip the drink in. Oh, Scarlet. So for Andrew Bolt does whiskey tasting. I don't hold that against whiskey. Andrew Bolt also breathes. I can't stop breathing just because Andrew Bolt breathes. Andrew Bolt is an unmitigated piece of shit. Oh, man, that's good. I think all the rum was just up. Oh, yeah, that's really curdled. Yep. All the rum was upsetting my tummy. So I had to give my tummy a break, and I'll just drink the other one. Whew. I have so many clarified drinks for Friday night. Oh, well, Friday night's party night. Maybe some tomorrow night, too. Thursday night. Thursday night's almost party night. But yeah, I suddenly decided. I mean, this drink, the Gumbai Smash, is 2, 3, 4. It's like 5 standard. It's like 5 standard drinks. It's so bad. That's sort of finger in the breeze guessing, but it's 4 or 5 standard drinks. It's at least 4 standard drinks. Oh, God, yes, Annette. Idiots doing a run on toilet paper. How do people not remember, like, the toilet paper's not going away. There's no problem with supply. Don't be a fuckwit. Supermarkets are doing the right thing and preemptively putting limits on it to just stop dickheads being dickheads. No, I'm not going to buy more toilet paper, Luke. Well, because I've got a bit because I go to Costco, but there's no shortage, and the supermarkets put the limit in up front because people are dickheads. People are dickheads. I have no time for that shit. Yeah, no, can you tell? It pisses me off. Musical aviator, I did get reminders for the fridge, but thank you for remembering it as well. The two things that piss me off most about the resurgence of hopefully just a small resurgence, hopefully it calms down and goes away, but there is most definitely a surge of new cases of the Rona in Melbourne. Two things that annoy me most is just instantly some fuckwits apparently went for this panic buying thing, despite all logic and actual recent experience shows us that we weren't going to run out of stuff. It's just fucked. Stella, no, it's just Melbourne because everyone suddenly went, oh, they're going to lock us down. Oh my God. And scared people just go for something they can do, even if it doesn't make any sense. As in this case, it does not make any sense. And apparently, at least in some places, people were panic buying toilet paper. Although I think the media creates this sometimes. But it's dumb. So that's the one of the two things, the most stupid that piss me off about it. The second is the conservative blatherers, whether they be in media or in politics, obsessing about trying to blame this surge in cases on the Black Lives Matter protest in Melbourne, even though that was absolutely, definitely, categorically not the source of infection, because the people were wearing masks and they were doing a pretty good job with distancing and stuff as well. But they were all wearing masks. And it got to the point where, like, LNP government ministers couldn't, with a straight face, just lie and say that's where the infections come from, because that's not where the infections come from. So their fucking talking point now, and I shit you not, their talking point is it is the fault of the Black Lives Matter protest because people looked at it and went, oh, well, there's a large group of people. Why should I follow any rules? Which is the stupidest, most fucked, pathetic, you're going to throw your back out reaching that far bullshit. Absolute bullshit. They are gross, worthless, soulless, lying sacks of shit. Fucking hate them so much. So Music Aviator guys at Air Force Base were great with COVID. Had to sign with the signature, cup of clean pens, cup of used pens. Yeah, well, as I mentioned the other day when I went to visit AZ in hospital, they were very strict. They limiting the number of people who could visit, limiting the duration of the visit. They did a temperature check. You had to sign in, so they had your details if they had to do contact tracing. Look, man, look how much this one's separated. They don't always do that, but this one's really separated. Curds and thing, so that's pretty goddamn effective. Good. So I'm going to start filtering because that's already separated that much. I don't need to wait any longer. Kirsten, you have to sign into your own workplace. Oh, because you're working from home. I'm actually, for the first time in quite a while, going to go into the city on Friday for work-related stuff. So this will only be the second time in 3 months that I've gone into the city for work. So, Annette, that is a good point that there wasn't readily available coronavirus information in other languages, which could be why our family groups did it. Kirsten, I made some pineapple cocktails. This one is the one, the ones I test drove the other night. This is the Shazza, the Australian version of the Susie, which is really good. Oh, it's so nice. So that's Pisco, Okar Gold, Regal Rogue Lively White Vermouth, pineapple juice, and sugar syrup. I also made a Goombay Smash, which was 2 shots of overproof rum, in my case 69% overproof rum. Half a shot I used Curacao from Marionette, 3/4 of a shot of coconut rum liqueur, 3 shots of pineapple juice, and 1/4 shot of lime juice. And then I decided I didn't want to drink it. So I'm milk clarifying it. That's what this is. I'm about to filter it. Oh, man, your 3D printing still going well on eBay, Locust Trooper. Nice. $2,000 in sales in 2 weeks. Excellent. You're obviously making stuff people want. Excellent work making your own business. Oh God, this floor's still slippery from where I spilled a drink, I think. Oh God, someone's going to slip and kill themselves and it'll be my fault. Yikes. All right, I'm just going to get a funnel. Gotta get a funnel. Gotta get grab the well by the throat and shout. Put that in my storage glass. Get a coffee filter. Okay, put the coffee filter in. Now pour the cocktail in. There we go. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. What's that meme I've been around a lot that makes me giggle? I always thought life would be easy peasy lemon squeezy, but it turns out life is difficult, lemon difficult. Locust Trooper made a card drink holder selling good. Man, well, you've made stuff people want, man. That's what it comes down to. Good work, my man. Good work. Creating your own livelihood is great. Lee, you miss Canada and Timmy Hortons. Very Canadian. Things I only know from the internet because I've never been to Canada. My lad wants to go to Canada. I think it's because he made friends on the internet who were Canadian. So he wants to go to Canada, possibly when he finishes uni, maybe to do something post-grad in Canada. I don't know. Ugh, the Shazza is a fine beverage. Ooh, I'm liking it a lot. It's lighter. Whereas actually this rum one that I'm milk clarifying is also really nice. I don't know, it's just something, it just felt a bit much. My poor little tummy feels a bit funny. And I thought, I don't want to drink 2 shots of overproof rum tonight. So discretion is the better part of valor in my book. Ooh, there we go. Now we're getting into poutine. Quebecois delicacy. Only the Quebec make it properly. I have T-shirts with Quebecois swearing on them because a YouTube friend is she's French Canadian, lives in Quebec, and she sent me T-shirts that have Quebecois swearing on it, but it's colloquial swearing. So if you put it into like Google Translate, it doesn't translate, but Quebecois recognize it. I even forget what it translates as, but I've got 2 different sweary T-shirts, and yes, French Canadians get it, but yes. Oh, Nice. Yeah, Locust Troop, if you want to send one, I will most definitely show the card drink holder to everyone. Sounds very cool. Kirsten, your mum's husband says he's Canadian, even though he immigrated when he was 2. Some people really latch on to their heritage. Like, I latched on to today is Bannockburn Day, the anniversary of the Battle of Bannockburn, where Robert the Bruce led Scotland to independence against the hated King of England, even though the Scottish ancestry in my family moved to Australia well over 100 years ago, probably about 150 years ago, actually. But yes. Stella, you don't like Lord of the Fries chips. I kind of like Lord of the Fries chips. They are, of course, vegan. I don't think they're vegetarian. Oh, they might just be vegetarian. I'm not sure if they're vegetarian or vegan, but they do. I think they know, at least some of them do pretend chicken and pretend burgers. Luke, I agree with you. Halal snack packs are great. It's just such a beautiful Australian invention. Some drunk Australian went, yeah, I'm getting shit-faced and getting a kebab. But sometimes I just feel like kebabs are too healthy. And someone's gone, ooh, well, why don't we get the contents of the kebab, remove the salad, and then add a layer of chips and cheese and sauces? Oh, that's perfect, man. That's what I want. Annette, what part of Scotland did my ancestors come from? My family name comes from the Orkney Isles, so the far north of Scotland. It's a relatively uncommon family name, and it comes from a very specific area of the Orkney Isles. It's funny, the first ancestor who moved to Australia was a gunsmith, and oh, hi Nog, how's it going? When I was in the UK last, doing a bit of shopping, I saw there's some like antique places, and they had stuff from Scotland. And so I asked, and some of them had antique firearms and swords and knives and whatnot. And so I said to the guy, like, way back, family heritage, were gunsmiths. What would be the chance of finding one of those? And he said, like saying someone was a gunsmith 200 years ago is like saying someone's a boutique beer maker today. Like, yes, it's real and they did it, but so did thousands of other people. And it would be very hard to find, because apparently gunsmithing was actually very common 200 years ago. So every man and his dog was gunsmithing. So I thought, oh, okay. I was hoping I might get a lead there. Annette, you have a branch from the Hebrides. There you go. There you go, Locust Troop. Your dad's from Scotland. We must be cousins, man. That's how it works. Safa, I've been to Scotland, but I haven't been all the way to the Orkneys. I would like to. I would also like to visit Ireland, because my mum's side of the family is Irish. My dad's side was Scottish. And of course, I have friends in Ireland as well, as in, internet friends, people I haven't actually met that I would like to meet. So that's one of the reasons I would like to go to Ireland. Plus, it's just a beautiful place. So I would very much like to go to Ireland. I'd very much like to spend more time in Scotland. And I would like to go to the Orkneys, try and find my family. Stella, you did one of those DNA tests. Just throw a dart at a map of Scotland and you have DNA from there. And of course, if you have Scottish heritage, you are going to have Viking heritage too, because the number of Viking settlements that existed there at one time or another, and all the pillaging and whatnot too. But there were actually some peaceful Viking settlements there. Well, this one's going to be really clear. It's going to be a very light yellow, I think, when it's done filtering. pass it through a couple of times probably, because I'm not in any rush. I ain't drinking it tonight. Looks like it's just dripping through now, so that'll still be going when I go to bed probably, or it might be mostly through, half an hour to go in this stream, so might be mostly through in half an hour, and then I'll just dip through again, and maybe even one more time tomorrow. Who knows? David, Scots and Irish. No wonder I like the booze. Stereotype engaged. Yes, it is a thing. Annette, the Orkneys have a good Viking fest at Hogmanay. That sounds good. Felix Healer, are Scottish Islanders in the North Sea considered Highlanders? No, I think the Highlands are a particular part of mainland Scotland. Also, I'm not an expert, so I could be wrong. Yes, Locust Trooper, you don't get much whiter than me, Scotland and Ireland. Yeah, why am I not a white supremacist, really? Safi, you have Viking and Mongol ancestors. Yes. That would be the Eastern European thing coming up. Yes. Stella, only 1% Norwegian. So your Celtic ancestors were a bit racist. Yes, I don't want to trivialize it, but not all the interbreeding was what you would call voluntary, where the Vikings were involved. As I said, there were peaceful Viking settlements until they got wiped out by vengeful Brits. But yes, there was also lots of not peaceful interactions between the Vikings and the people of the British Isles. So. Locust Trooper, I do have a somewhat American physique, being a fat bastard. Yeah, it's not a beer gut because I don't drink beer. It is a food gut. It is earned by eating far too much and being really fucking lazy. Really feel like I should work on it sometimes, but then I lose motivation. I should though. Yes, even I was already a fat bastard before fucking isolation started, but I've definitely put on even more weight during isolation. I am definitely the fucking fattest I've ever been, and that's saying something. Yes, okay. I'm gonna make myself feel bad soon. Invisible Chicken, you've got the English, Irish, French. Yeah, so many of us do, just, the white Europeans. David, your parents came from West Sussex? Cool. Was it Invisible Chicken, the Irish in your heritage left Ireland or the UK in a real hurry? That happened. There was a lot of that. There are definite convicts in my ancestry. So a lot of the people who got there wasn't voluntarily. So... Okay, so Annette knows the Highlands are the north of the mainland of Scotland. The Orkneys are way north of that. Used to be part of Norway at one point. There you go. It's hilarious that a Scotsman played a Spaniard. Oh, right, in Highlander, yes. And a Frenchman played a Scotsman. A Frenchman played a Scotsman, and a Scotsman played a Spaniard. So that movie was just all the way silly. Well, you were silly. You were skinny. You were silly? You were skinny. So you got hit by a car 2015. I was never really skinny, but I was not always a fat bastard. And I can kind of trace exactly where it happened. But hey, that's shit happens. Maybe I'll get my shit together one day and actually lose some weight again. I don't know. Sailor B, being happy is more important, actually. Health-wise, this is pretty solid evidence-wise for your health. Being happy and feeling secure and feeling safe and you're feeling loved is actually more important for your health than your weight, which is an untrendy thing to say, but it's true. Like a trip, we're going to have a gut competition. It's a thing that happens, man. Yeah, suffer, you will never take our freedom. We've come full circle because the Battle of Bannockburn, of which today is the anniversary, is that battle that happens right at the end of Braveheart. like after William Wallace has been executed, and all the armies are lined up, and Robert the Bruce is meant to be essentially doing a truce with England, but he leads the Scottish army, and they win. But it's also it skipped over the times he lost, because there's a fable, parable, saying of try again. The story goes, Robert the Bruce suffered a terrible defeat at the hands of the English, and got cut off from everyone else in retreat. And in desperation, he was hiding in a cave until the English went away. He was all alone. And while he was waiting in the cave, he saw a spider trying to spin a web between two bits, and it was swinging out, and it was miles away from where he was going. And he was looking at it thinking, that's never going to work. You're going to have to give up, spider. And the spider didn't give up, and it kept swinging and swinging and swinging. And after the longest time, it reached where it wanted to go, and it fixed the web and then continued to build the web. And the folklore goes that inspired Robert the Bruce to not give up. And had the saying, try again. And he did eventually lead the Scottish army to victory over the English, and Scotland won her independence. So that's the thing. Okay, you're 102 kilograms. Locust Trooper, honestly, I haven't weighed myself in a while because I'm fucking scared, but I'm at least 10, 15 kilograms heavier than that. I'm at least 10% heavier than you. So, yeah. Annette. Yes, that happened. His wife and daughter were kept in cages by the English king after that. Yes, he had all these bits of really sort of aggressive Scottish nationalism, like the fact that Edinburgh Castle has never been taken by an army. There have been surrenders at various times, or truces at various times. But Edinburgh Castle never been taken by an army. So that's where to go if there's a zombie apocalypse, because the zombies wouldn't be able to take the castle. Yeah. Lux Trip, we should do the weight loss thing together. Video. Ugh. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I probably should get focused. I might cheat and get Mrs. Angry to help me with some of her brain magic. It's not really hypnotism, but it's stuff that really helps with your mental outlook. I've talked about it before. I was going to say ASMR, but that's the sound thing. EDMR. That's my things over there. Eye movement desensitization reprocessing is a therapy. And there's another one called EFT, or tapping, which can help focus you. I'll do it. Kitsune lost our independence. That's a proud Scot talking there. Lost our independence through inheritance thanks to James. Yes. Yeah, that's the independence wasn't lost through a war. It was just about succession to the throne and shit. EFT, which is the slightly embarrassing name of emotional freedom techniques. It's often colloquially called tapping, because what you do is tap various. You think of things like, I'm going to lose weight. I'm definitely going to lose weight. I'm a fat bastard. I'm going to lose weight. And then you tap on these acupressure points. I've done videos on it before. It's freakishly effective. It is really weird. Really just highlights how fucking weird your brain is and how you can change how your brain works. It's absolutely wild to me. And I mean from experience, having gone through it, the things that changed to me is amazing. Kitsune, the island culture was crushed after Culloden. Yes, that was the bloody massacre, the Culloden Moor. let's not even talk about the clearances. Yes, well, fucking the English were not shy about genocidal behavior. What did they call it? The reaving of the North? The clearances? Tried to make it sound poetic. I think they called it the reaving of the North. And, you know, they literally killed half the population of Ireland with famine. And over a couple of centuries, probably killed tens of millions of people on the Indian subcontinent through famine. The English are fucked. Sunbear, tapping seems akin to kinesthesiology. Interesting stuff that really works. Well, yeah, I've got some old videos. Oh, yes, Luke, it was the food one. It's weird. Tapping can help you with stress and anxiety, but it also has this weird thing where, like, if you have an uncontrollable craving for something that's unhealthy, you know, and that goes from food to like smoking to drinking too much coffee or something, it's freakishly effective at helping you resist a thing you think you can't resist. And it also works completely the opposite, that if there's a healthy food that you don't like and you have just, no, I don't eat that, you can get over this psychological aversion to the food. I did it with tuna, although I don't really eat tuna very much ever. But more importantly with veggies like carrots and capsicum and onions, stuff that I just really didn't have here. Like a trip, you think I've got a strong punch? Dude, I'm old and my bones are weak. I would hurt myself if I punched someone. Yes, Stella, at least 2 million killed in the potato famine, and 2 million escaped. Migrated is a polite way of putting it. They were refugees. But yes, the Brits managed to wipe out half the population of Ireland with their fuckery. And yes, what they did to Scotland as well was bad. Oh yeah, no, definitely. Invisible chicken, long-term stress will fuck your brain up. That's when you go, mental health issues can be caused by a number of things. They can be caused by intense trauma, like a single traumatic event. They can be caused by consistent exposure to a really bad environment. So what you're saying there, invisible chicken, long-term stress can fuck your brain up. And of course, it can be as simple as your brain chemistry is just somewhat imbalanced because your brain's a big sludgy fucking mess of chemicals and electrical impulses. And if the chemicals are out of balance, the electrical impulses are going to give you incorrect messages. So it's like, you know, there's three key things that can be drivers of mental health issues, you know, trauma, a bad environment, and just brain chemistry. It's really very weird. Like you reckon because I'm 110 kilograms, I'll have a hard punch. Literally want to put my weight behind it. I did learn how to punch properly. I used to do boxing many years ago, but I'm not joking, man. My shoulders are fucked. I think my arms would fall off if I punched someone hard. So I'm a pacifist because my joints won't hold up to fighting, and my knees won't hold up to running away. So basically, I have to be nice to people because I can't afford to get in a fight. Oh yeah, invisible chicken. Anxiety from stress is such a common reaction, and it's like a genuine, understandable, real thing. This stuff I'm talking about, like EFT, is kind of the lightweight therapy. This other one, EMDR, is actually recommended by the World Health Organization for treating post-traumatic stress disorder. Like, it can help people who have had a lifetime of trauma, like someone who suffered violent abuse or terrible traumatic event in their childhood. has carried it with them their whole life, and that trauma has strained the whole life for decades. EMDR can turn that around. It's absolutely fucking amazing. And so I agree. It's very good that people talk more about mental health these days, a bit more open. Sunbear, no punching Nazis. Well, not for me. I might aid and abet someone else punching Nazis. But yeah, I got to be real, because as much as I might think it's appropriate, it is by and large illegal to punch Nazis. So I'd have the double problem of my joints not coping very well with throwing a decent punch at a Nazi, and then my knees would not cope very well trying to run away from authorities. So I have to leave that sort of thing to someone else, someone younger and healthier than me. Like stupid anxiety, stress, and bullying. Yeah, dude, absolutely fucking yes, man. Bullying when you're a kid can leave you with fucking lifelong trauma. I fucking hate people who go, oh, bullying, this is character building. That's the thing you go through. Get fucked. It can cause really quite severe issues for years. Oh, here we go. Let's talk about electric shock therapy. The funny thing is, because, of course, electroconvulsive therapy was definitely abused by a lot of institutions. But it is still in use, because there are some conditions that it's actually incredibly effective for. Because what ECT does is fucking rejigs your brain, is actually changes the signals to your brain, because it's just sending this, because your brain works off electrical impulses, and it's just like forcibly fucking jump starting your brain. And of course, some difficult patients would be quiet after ECT because you fucked their brain up. But it is still used for some people, because particularly with some convulsive illnesses, apparently it can work really well. It actually recalibrates brain. And the trouble was, it got to the stage by the 60s, 70s when it was used as punishment, and that's never good. And then he says bullying's good for you. Have you ever heard fucking dickheads go like, I got belted when I was a kid and it never did me any harm. Oh, you're too soft. You don't like bullying. That's a part of growing up. It's character building. There are all these morons around who say things like that. Felix, you may well be right. When we see all those videos of hyper-violent cops, they might have been either bullied, or they were either the bullies or were bullied at school. And that message of violence and authority got ingrained into their brain. Oh, okay. Stella, you don't like cognitive behavioral therapy. Some people are really into it. What I've been talking about isn't CBT. And I'm not enough of an expert to say anything about CBD. But I know some people are really into it. But I guess, like anything, there could be bad applications of it and good applications of it. You see, I identify with that, Kirsten. You got bullied at a workplace, still fucks you up years later. I can still remember really abusive bosses from the past, and it does not feel good. It does not feel good. Oh yeah, like a stripper. I was very low on the totem, very low on the social ladder at work. So yeah. Probably not severe bullying, but we had this funny thing because I went to a Catholic school for most of my school life. And this is a small town, and there's a Catholic school, and there were the state schools. And there was a bit of antagonism between the Catholic school and the state schools. And I remember this was just in primary. It was a fight. It was kind of bullying, but it wasn't extended. This guy, I think it was primary. I'm trying to remember. It must have been primary. But yeah, walking past this state school on my way home, this guy just came up because you could tell from my uniform I was from the Catholic school, and I was by myself, and he was like with 3 or 4 mates, and he just went, "Hey, mate." And I did actually meet this guy years later, and he was a bit of a thuggy bully. He wasn't a bully to me, but I know that had been his life. He'd been the sort of thuggy bully his whole life, and he just came up, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Nothing," because he's like with 4 guys, so I'm not going to do a goddamn thing. And because I wouldn't take the bait when he was like hurling shit at me, because I was like, "Jesus, dude, what am I going to do? There's like 4 guys here. Fuck." And he just full on punched me in the face because I wouldn't do anything. And I was actually reasonably good at taking a hit, and I didn't really flinch when he punched me. I didn't punch him back again because it was like 4 things. And there was an adult around somewhere who told him to fuck off. And I think the adult was really amazed that I just took this hit and didn't do anything. Because like, well, there's 4 guys. If I throw up first, I think this guy could have beat the shit out of me. And if I had thrown a punch back, that would have been his excuse. But also, even if he couldn't, if I'd started to beat him, there were these 4 guys who would have fucking gone me. But yeah. So, but I was kind of good at taking a hit. It happened more than once. Yes, Stella, EMDR is, well, okay. I won't say better than CBT. It's completely different. It does completely different things. I've known some people to champion CBT. I won't go out on a limb and say EMDR is better. It's different, though. It's definitely different. Continue. There's an interesting article from a former American cop who details why all cops are bastards. Yeah. Part of it is traumatizing training where they're shown video after video of how they go, "Oh, there's that dude. I listened to a podcast about him and I've seen some other things about him. He invented the absolutely stupid term killology." I know, and I'm always recommending this podcast, Behind the Bastards, but a recent 2-parter on Behind the Bastards really dived into this guy who trains cops to be bastards and trains them to be killers. And it's incredibly toxic, no good for anyone. But yes, American cops are taught to be adversarial more than most cops. It's very bad. That's a good point, Annette. With bullies and tough guys, there's always a bigger bully somewhere. I remember, look, okay, I also have to admit to being a shithead to people. My defense was he was a fuckwit. But in retrospect, I did terrible, terrible things. And possibly because he was just even lower on the social ladder than me. But he was a fuckwit. Other people did way worse things to him than I did. But I got into a couple fights with him. And he was another one I took a hit from. I was teasing him about something. I was antagonizing him about something. But it was just verbal. I was just verbaling him. I was being a shithead. And hey, Tim, if you're ever out there anywhere, yes, I was a shithead. You were also a dickhead, but I don't think that actually excuses the things I did. But you were a dickhead. I was a fucking piece of shit about it, though. Anyway, so I was antagonizing this guy. You would call it bullying. It was verbal bullying, and I was pretty good at being mean with language. And so I'm verbaling him, and he finally gets the shit, and he took me completely by surprise because he just did a big swing and just clocked me right there. And he wasn't very big. I mean, I'm not very big. I think he was actually probably a little bit shorter than me. So he was a little guy. I mean, like I'm only 5'8" now. But I was always one of the little guys. I think he might have actually been a little bit littler than me. And anyway, so he just did this mad swing and clocked me right in the cheek. And I just didn't react. I just went, yeah. And then I think he realized that was a bad thing to do. And also I might punch the shit out of him. And so I could have punched the shit out of him. I might punch the shit out of him for that, or I could just get him into trouble for punching me. And he made a big thing of, "Ow, what's your face made of? You hurt my hand," trying to diffuse it, and went away. And then my mates who were there went, "Fuck, man, didn't that hurt?" I went, "Yep, it did. I wasn't going to tell him that, though." It's just like, smack. And I was like, "That really hurt. He just punched me in the face." But it's like, I'm not going to let him know it hurt. So, yeah, so there were a couple of instances I can remember of someone punching me in the face and me just not reacting, just going, "Yeah, okay, yeah." And it like really hurt, but the big thing is don't show it. Just go, "Okay, yes." Don't ask me to talk because my mouth's not going to work at the moment. It's just like fucking school. Oh God, Safa, your high school reunions. I'm not going. I've never been to a high school reunion. And it's so far in the past now I can forget all the bad stuff, but I've just never gone to a high school reunion. Doesn't interest me. Yeah. But yeah, and of course there was all the racism when I grew up too. Country town Australia, racism to and Indigenous kids. The weirdest thing was all the white kids, the white boys, were scared shitless of the Aboriginal kids, thought we'd get beaten up by them. And it never fucking, there were fights. I got into a couple fights, but everyone was terrified of like a gang of Aboriginal kids beating them up. And it never happened. And yet that was the thing. That was everyone's biggest fear. And it was so weird that we were all terrified at the prospect of a thing that never happened. And I mean, when I say got in a fight, I can think of one fight I got in with, again, when I was a teenager with another Aboriginal kid, and wasn't very serious, swings, punches, wrestles, and whatnot. And the funny thing, it wasn't racial. There was no racial invective in it. It was, it was just dumb. It was just a dumb teenage thing because I didn't really know the guy and just both acting tough. And then the swinging started. But it wasn't even a big fight, and someone broke it up. So, there are. Concerning bullies used to get creative at your school, shoot fireworks at you or throw eggs, but the verbal insults were boring as all hell. Yeah, I was pretty brutal with the verbals. I did sometimes hit people. There were a couple of really shitty things I did. Not many, but a couple of really shitty things I did when I hit someone, and I really shouldn't have. Yeah, 2 or 3, not many, but it happened. It definitely happened. There were definitely instances of me being a complete fucking prick. Yeah, you got to try and learn from these things, I guess. But yeah. Yeah, Locust Trippy, there was some of the kids who ended up being targets, you kind of felt like they deserved. I remember this one little bit, like I was in year 12 and he was in about year 8. So he was so much younger, and he was always the target of hassle, including some physical stuff from people much bigger than him. Because he was just a feisty little son of a bitch. And looking back, like I would love to, if I could bump into, because I remember his name. If I could bump into young Douglas again, and I can call him young because he's about 5 or 6 years younger than me. I'd like to say not just, it really sucks how much you cop shit at school, but in retrospect, I can see in this boring shithouse country town, you were the interesting one. You were the individual, and you were just fighting against people who were trying to grind you down. And that must have been so fucking difficult for you. But in retrospect, I can see you were the interesting one. You were the individual. You were saying, fuck all of you. I'm not getting ground down by your bullshit, and paid a price for standing out and being different. Yeah. Oh God, Lee told you IQ is above 200, but because you have autism, you never amount to anything. People, and again, you're considerably younger than me, but in my day, autism was a shortcut to being institutionalized. And even in the last 10, 20 years, it's been poorly understood, but we're getting better. So, Sunbear, your school in Sydney, no racism, still shitheads. Yeah. Kirsten, you were the queen of the freak geeks and other assorted nobodies. Yeah, the weirdos always band together. I was with the weirdos in high school. And you're a bloody theatre kid too. So, yeah. Kitsune, also with the weirdos. We can all bond on being the weirdos and the theatre kids and whatnot. Stella, you were bullied at school for being Aboriginal and you're not even Aboriginal. That is weird. Yeah. If people thought you had any dark complexion, that would come out. Racist bullying, even if, to the best of your knowledge, you did not have any Aboriginal ancestry. Oh, yeah. No, Lee, that sounded like a teacher thing, what you just told me. That is definitely a teacher thing. Teachers can be the most fucked of all, actually. I mean, teachers also have a very difficult job, and good teachers are really, really good. But fucking bad teachers, man. Yeah. And I'm not cheating. That's just water I'm drinking. Melted ice. Ooh, look how pretty this is now. I tell you, it's a really light yellow. Ooh, it's pretty. I like it. I like a pretty drink. Ooh, and it's almost all gone through. All right, I'm going to put it through one more time. Let's want it to be really clear. Oh, I'm so obsessed with this whole bloody milk clarification thing. So that's more or less 3 times through. So that'll be finished in the morning, and I'll put it in a decanter or a bottle of some description. Feeling silly. You got in a fight with Bully, the biggest guy in Form 1. You lost. Dad asked what happened. He gave me a hiding for losing, not fighting. Form 2 brother gave him a hiding. He did. Oh, look, I had a thing I wasn't completely aware of growing up, because I'm the 8th of 10 kids, and there's a not quite 20-year difference between the oldest and the youngest, but not far short of it. So my oldest brothers were more than 10 years older than me. So 10 years old when you're a kid, that's a whole different world. What I didn't know is my 2 oldest brothers were fucking crazy people, and they had friends. There was another big family in Dubbo, and there was a parallel boy in each family, and that we were mates with. It's like, each brother in my family had a brother in this family who was the same age, and we all went to the same Catholic school, so we're all mates. But the fucking oldest, my 2 oldest brothers and the 2 oldest from this other family, they were fucking crazy people, apparently. They were wild boys. And had this weird experience once. I was about 15 or 16. My parents were away. My sister had a friend of hers over, and she had a boyfriend who was a couple of years older than her, and he was a fucking asshole. And he came around to our house looking for his girlfriend because she had been hanging out with my sister. And I came to the front door drunk and rowdy, and I sort of hustle my little brothers out of the way because they were about to answer the door. And I ran up and I answered. He's really drunk and Rick Debbie. And also, one of my brothers kind of fancied his girlfriend as well, and this thuggish guy knew it, and he just went. He sort of looked at me and went, "You're the cunt I don't like, aren't you?" And he goes, like, because he's a tough guy, he's going to headbutt me, but he was so fucking drunk. It just went in super slow motion. Like he grabbed the hold of me, you're the kind I don't like, are you? And his head went back really slowly. And I thought, is he going to headbutt me? And his head started to come forward. And I just put my elbow up, and he headbutted my elbow, which is obviously going to hurt him more than me. But also, I don't think it hurt him very much because he did it so slowly because he was so fucking drunk. And anyway, then they fucked off, and somehow, I don't know, someone in the family talked. My second oldest brother found out about it, and because I told my older brother that this guy thought I was you and tried to headbutt me, but he was so drunk it didn't work. And then I think he told the oldest brother, which wouldn't have occurred to me, but he was closer to them, so he knew what they'd fucking do. And namely, they're gonna regain the family honor. This guy transgressed the family household. And so my second oldest brother comes up to my sister and says, what's the name of this bloke? And she's going, I don't know, because she knew what he was going to do. And he said, no, this shit's not going to stand. He's getting sorted. And she's going, oh, I don't. And she wasn't going to tell him. And then he just goes, I tell you what, I am going to beat the shit out of this guy, right? But if you don't tell me his name, he's like, me and me mate are going to go and kick the shit out of because there was two of them. So me and my mate are going to go and kick the shit out of these guys. He goes, if you don't tell me his name, I'm going to tell the oldest brother. He'll fucking kill him. That's not a figure of speech. That guy will show up face down in the river, okay? So I am definitely going to punch the shit out of him. But the other brother, he will fucking kill him. If he finds out this guy came to the house, inflicted violence, and the littlies were here, he'll just fucking murder him. And so my sister goes, oh, good point. Told him his name, and yeah, they went and beat the shit out of him. And I didn't find this sort of stuff out till years later, that my two oldest brothers and their mates were just like fucking madmen. They were just running like bloody Locust Trip. We keep joking about fucking Brimbank and Sunshine and whatnot. My brothers were the fucking Dubbo equivalent of these marauding gang guys in the western suburbs. And I had no idea. I really didn't find out until years later, because I was never like them. I got into fights, but these guys were, as the saying goes, known to police. It's just like, fucking hell. Yeah, it was a pretty weird thing to find out that, but again, it was just like, they were 10 years older than me. When you're a kid and someone's 10 years older than you, they're in a completely different world. You don't know a fucking thing that's going on with them. Yeah, that was and a couple of the stories I heard afterwards, like when I first heard this, and then one of my brothers or sisters would just go, oh, you don't know half of it. There was a thing, and then they would tell me another one, and I was just like, oh my God, what the fuck? My dad actually sent one of my oldest brothers to a reform school. I got in trouble. Him and his mates boosted a car and got chased by the cops and crashed it. But my dad knew all the cops, and so he could have got my brother off really easily. But he said, no, you have to learn a lesson. Send him to like the reform school. It wasn't a prison. It was like a reform school. It was a boarding thing or whatever. So send him there. That'll sort him out. And so they sent him there, and then I only found out about this stuff years later. I didn't know this was happening, because this was happening when I was 5 or 6, 7 years old. My brother was like 16 or 17. So I had no idea this shit was happening. I found out later. No, it wasn't a boarding school, Safa. It was a fucking reform place. So then apparently when my parents went to visit my brother after he'd been there a week or two, and he's in like a dormitory type room with 3 or 4 other guys, and they're saying like, yeah, how's it going? The training is going. Yeah. What's it like, sharing the room? What's it like sharing the room? It's like, well, that guy killed his mother, and that guy killed his father, and that guy killed both his parents. And they just realized they had put him in an institution with really fucking hardcore criminals when, he'd boosted a car with his friends. And so they got him out of there really quickly because I think that's a mild joke that everyone in there was a murderer, but there were people who'd killed family members in there. And is my dad with a tough, be tough. And he's like, oh, he's in with killers. Okay, maybe this was a mistake. And brought him home. Funny old world. Funny old world. Anyway, after that really weird, silly story, I'm going to go to bed. Love yous and leave yous. Hump day. Made it halfway through the week. Yee-haw. I've got my bloody fucking work misadventures. I still don't have an actual signed piece of paperwork saying my contract's extended. And what I heard today from the boss is they're changing up a bit. Oh, because of the way the bureaucracy works, instead of a 3-month extension, they only get it cleared to do a 1-month extension. But that 1 month will be enough to then get signed on for a 1-year extension. And I'm like, fuck yeah, 1 year in these volatile economic times, to be locked in for a year, I will be in that. But anyway, so my work is still a little bit weird. Yes, well said, Lee. Au revoir to the beautiful people. Look after yourself, one and all. I hope you are looking after yourselves. I hope you stay well. I hope to see you again soon, like, tomorrow, where I will at least taste test this. Don't know if I'll drink all of it, but I'll at least taste test it because the milk clarification will have made it a bit milder. And we'll see what happens then. So yes, unless something weird happens, I'll be on tomorrow and like for a bit of a party on Friday night, but I won't be on Saturday night because that's the date night. Kitsune, you still got an afternoon of work to go. I hope that goes well for you. Hope to see all you fine people again sometime very soon. Very soon. That's what I liked to think it would be very soon. So I'm just trying to work something out with this before I actually sign off. Nope. Okay, that's cool. Forget about it, as they say. So look after yourself, one and all. I'm going to head off to bed. I hope you're all well. I hope to see you again.